talking about my misconceptions about China before I even came here. Now, I'm very thankful. I've been living here for 7 years and I have managed to open my eyes to what really China is all about. I was educated, I was corrected, and I listened. I observed a lot of things for the past 7 years. So I think right now is the right timing for me, or it's the best time for me to share to you guys what I really think now about China and how it is so different from what the international media portrays China. It's not as bad as what they portray. Hopefully this video would help you understand a little bit more about China from a foreigner's perspective who's been living in China for 7 years now. And here are my 5 common misconceptions about China. First one, China is a communist country. Well, is it really a communist country? For me, as a foreigner who's been living in China for just over 7 years now, I can never say yes to that. Why? Because I have never seen it. I've never felt it. I've never experienced it. I have never seen people who are oppressed in China. I have never encountered things or experiences. I have never encountered situations wherein I blamed it to communism. I can say yes to that if I see it, if I experience it myself. But for 7 years, I've never seen it. I've never experienced it. Maybe in the year 1950s, 1940s, 1930s, yes, we can say because we have read about it. But we can never say that China is still a communist country just because of its past. Considering that Chinese economic growth right now is one of the best in the world. It's second to America, and by the year 2030, China would have the largest economy in the world. So we can never say that it's still a communist country because China has been striving to be the richest in the world for quite a while now. I have spoken to my friends, I have met a lot of foreigners here, and there's no problem with it. It's not as bad as how the international media tags China as a communist country. In my own opinion, China now is a capitalist rather than a communist country. It's striving to be the best in the world. Second, it is a military-controlled country. Nope, nope, nope. It's a big false. I have never seen tanks on the roads here in China. I have never seen armed military men or a group of armies lurking around and walking around the city. Never seen them. And if it is a military-controlled society or country, then people wouldn't be able to go out to the parks and play mahjong, peacefully drinking their tea with their friends, dancing or doing some kung fu in the park. Like, who wouldn't be afraid to go out and do this stuff if there is a military presence all over the country, or at least in a city? They wouldn't be able to do that. Well, this is what I can tell you though. It is, however, a police-controlled country, which is a good thing. At least here in the city where I am now, there are police patrols everywhere here. 3 to 5 kilometers away, there are police stations. So I have been living here for 7 years. I have never felt unsafe in China. I go out at 10 p.m. and feel safe. I come home at midnight at 1 a.m. and feel safe. These policemen actually make you feel safe. For me, it is not a military-controlled country. However, it is a police-controlled society or country wherein they protect their people, not to scare their people from doing what they want. People can still do whatever they want to do. They can go out whenever they want to go out. Third, Chinese people are unfriendly and rude. This is an overgeneralization because of articles, because of write-ups. But what I can say to you is that we have our own encounters with Chinese people. We have our own experiences with them. But whatever your encounters and experiences with Chinese people, you just cannot overgeneralize them. Any other nationalities would have the same thing. There are rude people, there are nice people, there are friendly, unfriendly people. But whenever we talk about Chinese, we just label them of being unfriendly and rude, which is not nice at all because it applies to you as well. If you're from America, there are people who are rude as well in America and unfriendly and rude. If you're from the Philippines, or wherever you are, whatever your nationality is, you have to admit that there are people who are like this. To tell you honestly, I have worked with the nicest people of all. Chinese people are sweet, caring, friendly, very, very accommodating. They even ask you to go out, and whenever they ask you to go out, they even pay it, even if you have the intention of paying it. Do not overgeneralize Chinese people as rude, aggressive, or unfriendly, because not all Chinese people are like that. Fourth, it is a third world country. Yes, it's a third world country. However, it is developing really, really fast. And as I have mentioned earlier, China is trying to have the biggest or largest economy by the year 2030. And if ever you visit China, you would never think that you are in a third world country because you are surrounded by skyscrapers that are comparable to New York skyscrapers, and you would see all of these high-end brands surrounding you. So that's why you wouldn't even notice that there is poverty in the city. Like, I have been here in my city for 3.5 years now and 7 years in China. I have never seen even one beggar. I've never seen homeless men here, unless if I really look for them, maybe I would find one, but I've never seen them. I've only seen poverty whenever I go out the city. I go to the countryside. That's when I see, how hard life in the countryside. And that applies in your countries as well, like poverty outside the city. But if you're just gonna be in the city, you would hardly notice poverty. It's not as visible as maybe in the other countries. Yes, it is a third world country, but I think it's the best third world country amongst the other countries that are also in the same category. So the fact that they're constantly building shopping malls, the largest shopping mall here, or the largest building floor size, is in Chengdu here. It's a global center, and I think Wuhan, China right now is building the tallest building in the world. And yeah, you could see the growth of China, and it's really fast. Like, I've been here 7 years, and it's unimaginable how fast they could build buildings here. It's just amazing to see how much China have changed for the past seven years. Fifth, made in China products are of low quality and fake. Well, to be completely honest, China is a manufacturing country, and they make a lot of stuff here. And maybe one of your stuff in your household right now is made in China, right? To tell you honestly, they all make different classes here. They make fake products, and they make authentic products as well. Now, these fake products and low quality products would go to the country that can only afford that kind of quality. They wouldn't be sending a high quality product or authentic product if it's not gonna be, sold in that country, or people can't even afford to buy those products or those quality in their country. So it really depends on how much your people in your country can afford and willing to spend on a product. So yes, China makes fake stuff. It's because there are also demands from countries that can only afford this kind of quality as well. So you can never just label made in China as low quality products and as fake ones, because that's what you have in your country. You can never say that, because China makes everything. Almost everything now is made in China. There are 7 high-end brands that are already made in China, and maybe some of these are still trying to maybe start producing in China, just because the manufacturing now in China is very, very good, and these high-end brands are so trusting to Chinese manufacturers. Number 1 is Prada. Now I know Prada has been thinking of moving their production in China. I'm not yet sure, 100% sure, if they have totally moved their production to China yet, but maybe sooner or later you will see the tag on your Prada bags as made in China, and it's not a big deal, because again, these high-end brands and the owner of these high-end brands trust the Chinese manufacturers. Second, this is a no surprise already, your Coach bags. It's not a high-end bag, but it's certainly a famous, not too affordable bags, not too expensive as well. It's made in China, it's made in Vietnam, made in the Philippines, and yes, that is because of the labor cost as well. It's just cheaper to have their products made in Asian countries compared to how much they would be spending to their employees' salary back in their country. All right, the third one is Burberry, Mulberry, Dolce & Gabbana. Yes, it is made in China. Marc Jacobs. Armani as well. Armani is also made in China. So again, guys, just to be completely frank with you, if these entrepreneurs are trusting Chinese manufacturers, why can't be more trusting as well with Chinese products, right? We can't just label them as, it's made in China and it's low quality. No. It's just that maybe you can only afford the quality that you can afford. So yeah, no offense. But yes, everything now is made in China. It just depends on how much you can afford and how much you are willing to spend. Alright guys, so those are my 5 misconceptions about China before I came here. So I hope I have enlightened you a little bit and I have made you understand a little bit more about China. Please feel free to ask me for clarifications, and if you want to correct me as well, please do so. I'm not perfect. I have also researched some of this and I have experienced some of this myself. Alright, so thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video and if you've learned something from this video, please hit that thumbs up button, and please don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. See you in my next video. Bye bye.